were to tell you that there is a drug in this world that negatively changes the anatomy of the brain, destroys relationships, and promotes heinous acts in society? What if I were to tell you that this drug is easily accessed by adults and children alike? What if I were to tell you that many people think that using this drug is normal and even healthy? This drug is pornography. Pornography use in the world has become increasingly more accepted by the general public. It hasn't been until fairly recently that scientists and other experts in the field have started to discover how damaging pornography really can be. My goal today is to persuade you not to view pornography. In order to do this, I will first explain its impact on the brain. Second, I will explain its impact on relationships. And third, I will explain its impact on society. So let's start by addressing how pornography affects the brain. The first way that pornography affects the brain is that it actually affects the brain in the same way that addictive drugs do. In his 2007 book, The Brain That Changes Itself, psychiatrist Norman Doidge explains that the way that addictive drugs make you feel high is by telling your body to release a chemical called dopamine. According to Doidge, pornography causes the same dopamine release in your body as drugs do. While dopamine in itself is not bad, because the levels of dopamine that your body releases during drug use and during porn use are just so much higher than your normal levels, it can actually damage your brain. This is a diagram that shows here a normal healthy brain, here a brain on heroin, and here a brain on porn. Notice how similar the brain on porn is to the brain on heroin, and notice how different they both are from the normal healthy brain. The other way that pornography affects the brain is that it affects your ability to make good decisions. In their 2014 psychology study, doctors of psychology Simone Kuhn and Jürgen Gallinat found that increased porn use was correlated with decreased gray matter in the brain, a problem known to be associated with poor judgment and low impulse control. For example, in his 2016 article about porn addiction, former porn addict Dallin describes how pornography affected his judgment. Although he loved his wife and he didn't want to lose her, he cheated on her because he didn't have the impulse control not to anymore. Porn destroyed that. So now that we've talked about how pornography affects the brain, let's talk about how it affects relationships. So the first way that it affects relationships is that it can affect your relationship with your partner. In her 2010 essay, psychologist Anna J. Bridges describes a study in which men describe their feelings toward their partners after watching pornography. According to Bridges, after watching pornography, most of the men there rated themselves as being less in love with their partners. According to Bridges, the most likely reason for this is the unrealistic nature of pornography. People watch pornography and believe that that is what sex is actually supposed to be like, and because of that, their partners can never measure up. The other way that pornography can affect a relationship is that it affects your partner's ability to have a relationship with you. In her 2016 article, Belinda Nash, the former girlfriend of a porn addict, says she talks about how she felt after finding out that her boyfriend was addicted to pornography. She says she felt betrayed, devastated, and ultimately inadequate. Describing her feelings of inadequacy, she says, "Despite trying every day to make life for us better and loving you fiercely, I was never quite good enough." So now that we've talked about how pornography affects relationships, let's talk about its effects on society. The first way that it affects society is that it fuels sex trafficking. In her 2007 article, psychologist and researcher Melissa Farley describes a study in which she asked people that were in sex trafficking in 9 countries, and she says that almost 50% of them said that while they were being trafficked into sex slavery, that pornography was made of them. People are sold into sex slavery not only for prostitution, as many people believe, but also for the purpose of making pornography. This is a picture from a campaign fighting against sex slavery. In this picture, there are people holding posters that say things such as, "Your daughter may be next," "Real men don't buy sex," "End demand for victims." The way that we end demand for victims for sex slavery is we end the demand for porn. The other way that pornography affects society is that it normalizes sexual violence and rape. In his 2013 analysis of pornography, neurologist Donald L. Hilton says that women are overwhelmingly the targets of aggression and even rape in pornography. Because so much violence is shown to women in porn, it shows men that watch porn that sexual violence and rape are normal and nothing to be ashamed of. In conclusion, viewing pornography is detrimental to both you and to those around you. Today, I have attempted to persuade you not to view pornography. Today, I've talked about how pornography changes the anatomy of your brain, making it harder for you to make good decisions. I've talked about how it can impact your relationship with your partner and your partner's relationship with you. I've also talked about how it fuels sex trafficking and how it normalizes sexual violence and rape. Despite all of these facts, there are still many people that believe that viewing pornography is normal and healthy. The main reason that they do is because they are not truly aware of these facts. You are now aware of these facts. What will you do about it? Thank you.